You're at the listing interview, you're sitting in front of the sellers, there's two of them there. You've got your stack of closed comps, and you want to go through the price with the seller. Did you bring the pendings, the options, the contingents, anything under contract status? Because I believe they're an important part involved in helping the seller understand perspective in the marketplace. Solds are history. Pendings just happened, just now, weeks ago, days ago. They're all ready to close. There are future comps. They're extremely valuable to help a seller realize, especially if you're talking to an expired seller, you're trying to list them, let them know about the buyers that got away and which houses they went to. Anyways, let's talk about a regular transaction. The seller has them on the market for years, and you're using the under contract properties to prove a point to them. This is what you have to do to go under contract. In some marketplaces, you have to be asking less than you paid for it. And if we look at the pending properties, we can sometimes see, of course, what they paid and what their list price was when they went under contract. We don't know their sold price, but a lot of properties you can guess. They're asking $400. We can be pretty confident if it didn't sell in day one, they didn't get $400. If it sold day 81, what would you guess they went for? This is a way to actually manufacture comps. You take a pending property and you can see the area's list price to sale price ratio on the CMA report. All you have to do, if the list price to sale price ratio is 5%, the seller's asking $500,000, and that would be the reduction in that case of about $20,000. And if the list price to sale price ratio was 10% off, they're around $40,000. You can actually project closed properties value based on the list price to sale price ratio. In other words, what do you do when you can't find sold comps? We're going to look to every other status. We're going to find comps everywhere. So the pending ones are good to let the seller know these are what the buyers have agreed to in the marketplace. Now, if you can find any of the what I call Bryan comps, properties that had the following conditions, bought around the same date, same area, same value as the subject property, and have now re-entered the marketplace, that's a Bryan comp. We're looking to see is what is the appreciation or depreciation rate of, in this case, our under contract comps. And if you don't know what they paid before, they didn't pay on the same date, same area, the same value as the subject property, then they're just a regular style-based comp. Bryan comps don't care what style is. We just look at the movement of money, appreciation, depreciation. Style-based comps look at features. All right, so we have these sets of comps, and we want to ask the seller, have they been inside of any of these properties? This is get the seller talking. The property is in front of the seller sitting at the kitchen table. And we ask them, have you had a chance to get inside that house? And they say, well, yes I did, and the house was a dog, or whatever the case, or the house really showed well. But they're simply going to say no, but they're interested in that property because it's under contract in the area. What we want to know, especially when you pull properties out that are superior, let's say the seller wants to ask, $300,000 for the property, and you pull out a under contract comp, and it says they were asking $310,000, just a $10,000 spread between your property and this other one that's pending. And what happens is you notice this other one that's under contract had 9-foot ceilings, 3-car garage, had granite countertops, or whatever's special in your area. They had all these different kinds of things, and your property doesn't. And it's also 300 square foot bigger. We want to make sure the seller understands that property that went under contract, and look at how long it took, had all these features that we don't have. So you be the judge. And here's an important question for the seller. Does that property look superior or inferior to you? Now you might say you're not comfortable asking that question. I would just encourage you to role play this with another agent, with a loan officer, and just get used to asking the question, hey, does this property look superior or inferior to your property? Now, if you've given them a property clearly superior to theirs, bigger, with more improvements, and they think that house is inferior, that house is a dog, Brian. It's not like ours. Ours is special. You know the Moore score, motivation, objectivity, readiness to change, and expectations of you That's the Moore score. When they start saying that superior properties are inferior to theirs, they're going to get a low Moore score. You should kind of judge these people point by point. You should look at motivation. Is it positive or negative? Every time they answer a question. Objectivity. Give them a point. Is it positive or negative? If you could tell they're not objective, give them a negative point. If they were objective and they said, well, that house is better than ours and we know it, give them a positive point. We're just adding up points. And in the end, you can see, on occasion, you're going to find some people weighed so heavy in a low Moore score, they kept choosing the negative answer and the unobjective, low motivation answers. All right, so have you been inside these properties? And I've got a question for you. Does this property seem inferior or superior? Let's get them talking, especially if there's two sellers there. This is pricing therapy. Let them have the conversation between them. Oh, honey, you think that house is better than this one? No, be objective, honey. That one's not as nice. And it's incredible when you start getting them to both express their opinion. All right, so we're going to move on from under contracts. Thanks for watching.